Good afternoon, guys. Sorville here. Um, so recently with the new ban list, ELPY getting banned, I've been doing some theory crafting on a variant that I think I like to succeed the Dragoonity variant. Um, and what I found is it's not as easy as it used to be. There's still some two-card combos that give us the setup we want, but they require a lot of investment. Um, and they're quite fragile and they require combos that might use a lot of bricks. And I ultimately didn't want to go that route. I'm not going to do the whole ATOM combo or anything like that. But anyways, um, I'm just going to let you guys know that I hope you enjoy what I've presented. I feel like this card has always been on my radar. It is a very powerful card and it's broken. And I think our deck more than any other. So I hope you enjoy what it's capable of and the theory behind it. I'll get back to you after the display. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the little combo display right there. Um, but now let's get into like the juicy bits, right? So this is the list I've like settled on as my probably like my favorite version to play. Um, between Rocket, between Dragoonity, Pure. I've looked at like every little bit of tech I could see, and this was the one I enjoyed the most. Um, there's not much I need to say about like the surrounding card. I think the one everyone would be focused on is obviously Ultra Polymerization. Um, the OCG version of this card is actually named Superior Polymerization. Fun fact: it is supposed to be the strongest one because it allows you to keep your materials that you use for that you use for a fusion summon, which is huge, right? Um, because it gives our deck the ability to perform a fusion summon for any of our fusion monsters and regurgitate the materials back for any of our link monsters, which I don't think any deck besides us could utilize to the same advantage. Maybe Prank Kid, but like, why would they? I don't think they would use this card. Since they predominantly like the fusion from hand and field, not just the field. But so I think this card is like made for us. And what it does, it's a very interesting card in it that it cannot fuse from the hand, right? It can only fuse from monsters that you control, but it can't be responded to, which is relevant. And it can't be responded to, and it you use the materials. It gives you back the materials on your field. Um, what I like about this card is it feels like opening World Legacy Guard Dragon did. That card, it's still strong, and it could probably make its way back into this deck for Pisty plays, but like I don't really use Pisty much of anymore at all, besides like being free banish material for like Red MD or like Link material for Romulus or Seal in the setup combos. So like it's whatever. I decided not to play that card. I feel like this card is better because it is a two-card combo of at least Furious or House Dragonmaid with every single maid in our lineup and Black Metal Dragon. But as like that third card, like that Silver Bullet Extender, it excels once you have like if you have access to Noctivision Dragon or Red MD, this card becomes really strong. Um, I'll show you guys like a quick example of what I'm referring to. If we just move over to the a replay I prepared. All right, so like in this hand, right? Our hand is Chamber, Ultra, Hospi, Ash, and Tidying, right? So we're gonna start. Um, in most cases, like realistically speaking, like the best you could do is seal, not seal Furious right here or seal House, but let's just explore, right? Let's entertain the idea of doing a little bit more. So we're gonna bring back Hospi, and we're gonna use Ultra Poly, and we're gonna go into Furious, target Furious, bring back the materials, and we're gonna go into Seal. Oh, I lied. This is exactly what we were gonna do. I technically could have done a little more, but I guess this was the most optimal board. You could also, for example, you could have made Romulus, search Ravine, pitch Tidying to send like a big Dragon Maid and then banish, revive it, and make like show. Like there are a lot of more options that you could do. This is technically the best board because it has the most interactions. But like, yeah. I really like the extension that this card provides, just because it is that perfect third card that also works as a serviceable two card. Like realistically speaking, here I could have just had, if everything else in my hand were bricks, Chamber plus Ultra Poly is Spheres and Furious, right? Parlor plus Ultra Poly is Spheres plus House Dragon Maid. If you have another extender, so like if you hard draw Hospitality or Noctivision Dragon or Monster Reborn, you could just go, you could dump Chamber off of Parlor instead of the Reborn trap, and then revive Chamber, use Chamber and the Striker Dragon to well search Tidying, and then use Chamber and Striker Dragon to make the same board. You just added the trap to the board, and I really like this trade that you can do for advantage. Like the 2-card combos aren't as good as what they used to be, but they're consistent with this card, and they can balloon into more resources depending on what you have in hand. When we get back to the list, right, when we go to test hands, this hand right here seems awful. Absolutely loses to an Ash Blossom, but realistically speaking, this card is so strong, right? That, I mean, the fact that it's a fusion spell comes in handy. You can just search. Now the reason I kept DD Crow so that I could do this. Like there are a lot of little nuances with this strategy that can allow you to balloon into better, stronger boards. We're gonna dump Chamber, and then now we're gonna summon Red MD by banishing the Romulus. And like, does the combo play into Nibiru? Absolutely. There's not much any of the combos can do to play around that card. I've tried the combos that I could get close. Still kind of lose to it. There just isn't much we can do anymore about that. It's a shame, but I prefer like something like this that's more fun and experimental. That gives us the rewards that we want, right? So see how that ballooned properly, and we didn't open a normal summon. We used our hand trap and 1-for-1 to get us there. Like, this card allows for so much creativity in comboing. Nothing is consistent. Like, the only downside I have to it is you absolutely need to play it at 3. It is your, for all intents and purposes, your silver bullet extender. So not seeing it could complicate things. Yeah, like, see, a hand like this isn't all that useful to anyone, right? It's a bit of a shame, but it's still really strong. Technically, you could play it with like a Dragoonity variant. I prefer Black Metal Dragon for a couple reasons. Dragoonity, yes, it doesn't cost your normal summon. It does come with a brick, that being Legatus. I don't like playing that card. It finds its way into my hand, on top of requiring the discard where necessary. I think Black Metal Dragon's better because Red MD can turn any meager board state into like advantage. You can open Black Metal Dragon in any of your normal summons and still perform a decent combo. You also get the ability to play the OTK combo that I like a lot. You know, Twin Triangle, Unicorn, Access Gold Talker, and with Noctivision Dragon in the deck, you get a lot of benefit out of it. You don't have the Dragon's Lock. Extra deck is kind of free. I can tell you right now, the cards you don't need is Soldier of Chaos. You don't need it. Only cards I would say that you need are these, everything here, and everything here. Furious is finally mandatory. But these are like just good cards that you could fill in with anything you might think is better for the format. Especially Soldier of Chaos. I just have it because I have one around and decided to play it. But yeah, it's interesting what this does for the deck, right? All your 2-card combos, they're just not as like, they're still consistent, but they don't balloon into the full-on combo that like we're all used to at this point. You know, Seals, Show, maybe DD Crow in hand. It sucks, but it just kind of is how it is. Can't really do too much about that. But at the end of the day, like, I still think it's really strong. I think it's pretty good, all things considered. You know, search changeover here. Go in this Nocto effect. Like you can make an argument for this version of the deck being. I don't know if I would say it's the best one yet. The jury's still out on that. Um, Rocket, I think, is the most self-sustainable. But like, I got a lot of backlash from players that don't like the Rocket engine. Like, I get it, so I decided to just leave it alone um, and focus on something that's pure. You know, like I'm not even really thinking about the combo. I'm just using it as like background noise. Um, but yeah, there's just I think the Furious combo is probably a solid backup to Seal plus Show, right? Like it's not as good as that board by any stretch. Opening double pot sucks. It's not as good as that board by any stretch, but at the very least, right? Like it's enough unique interactions to get by that I felt it was worth like experimenting with. Um, it really sucks when you don't see this card, but it's like not the end of the world. Like there are things you can do, and obviously we play the pot because like we want to increase our likelihood of like seeing it. It's a shame it would be the fourth card. Do I think it's possible that we could go for we could banish 6 in this variant and like ensure that we see this card turn 1? Absolutely. Like I said, Dragonmaid is no stranger to OTKing. Even without the OTK combo, so you could easily banish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like everything minus Romulus. Um, one of these two, and like you'd be just fine if you really want to see ultra polymerization. So yeah, that's something to consider. This is definitely going to be my first experimental wave with the deck. Um, if you're playing World Legacy Guard Dragon right now, I would potentially cut that card. I don't think Pisty's a great card. I don't think it's all that needed. Maybe I might change my mind on that. Maybe a combo or something comes out. Maybe I could cut these two and play 2 just so that I have access to the extra summon. That very well could come up. Um, like cut the Call by the Grave, cut the Reborn for just the 2 Guard Dragons. I could realistically do that, right? Um, but I think Ultra Polymerization is the best extender now. You don't even have to make show for this card to just still give value. You can make House Dragonmaid and Furious Dragon and get incredible value out of this. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Not too much for a long one. Just experimenting, giving some theory on what I think could be an interesting way to play this deck. I know a lot of people were excited about Ultra Polymerization when in the Dragonmaid Discord. We were talking about it like about a month or so ago, being a potential replacement for ELPY. And while it doesn't like one-to-one replace ELPY, it's an unsearchable fusion spell. I think the ceiling it provides is on par with it, and we have enough cards to like throw at it. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.